What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Happy to be speaking to you guys today about tonight's action we have with the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this will be a rematch of the NFC West game that we had a few weeks ago. I'm going to share with you guys my best bets. Full disclosure, I like a lot of bets in this game, okay? So we're going to be talking about it. We'll talk about where the sharp money is. Also, at the end of this video, I will tell you guys my best plays, and as always, what I'm going to start doing is I am going to be posting those plays a little bit later in the day. A lot of people out there do like to build same-game parlays for these primetime spots, and we've been having, some home runs over there on the Discord, so make sure you guys go over there, join us today. Totally free Discord, by the way. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. I get to see the numbers. You guys that are watching this video, all I ask for these free picks is that you guys smash that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment, say hello, and that's pretty much it, okay? Monday Night Football, we had an outstanding night, cashing in a lot of regards, so the people that did tail on Monday night, congrats. We're going to ride those profits into tonight as we look for this to be, in my opinion, and we'll get into my game script a little bit, a very high-scoring affair. I'm going to go bucking the trend. We're going to talk about the previous matchup, pull up that box score, and show you guys exactly what's going on in that. But like I said, guys, make sure you all like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will pull up the Rams-49ers previous game just to talk about that box score that we had back in September, okay? So here it is. Let's get into the box score just to show you guys some history, okay? This was a Jordan Mason game, 19 carries, 77 yards. Juwan Jennings went absolutely ham, 11 receptions, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Kyron Williams had 2 tutties. It was a 27-24 game, so going over the total, 21 points at halftime, a big explosive second half. The Rams are a different team, though. That was where they did not have Puka Nacua. They did not have Cooper Kupp for this game. Tutu Atwell was their leading receiver with 93 yards, okay? So I do look for a little bit more of an offensive output from the Rams. Also, I want to share with you guys today, we're able to win this game, and despite all the adversity that they had from a roster standpoint, and there's a ton of roster adversity today as well, okay? I'm staying away from the side. We do know that Sean McVay has a great ATS, against the 49ers. However, this is something where the Rams are on a short week. I think that potentially it sets up for the 49ers a little bit stronger. But I want to share with you guys kind of what's going on into this game. We'll look at this real quickly, though. Trent Williams is out. We do have a lot of injuries. Malik Mustafa's out. Bosa's questionable. Isaac Guerrero, the running back that replaced Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be questionable with I think a foot or an ankle. So that's going to be a storyline to follow. Worth noting. We're going to talk about that angle a little bit in this video. Then on the Rams front, with the exception of an offensive tackle and a cornerback being out, they don't really have too much on their injury report. A lot of questionable statuses there with Jordan Whittington and Demarcus Robinson. But other than that, guys, I think they're better suited and healthy for this game. So looking at the numbers, we do have Rams catching 3, all right, and the total set at 48.5. I jumped on the 48. I was able to find that. If you want to get a juiced up 48, sure. The only thing about that is, and I'll scroll down so you can see it, according to Outlier, and if you guys don't use Outlier, sign up below, link for a 7-day free trial. It's the best betting platform out there, in my opinion. You should not be betting without it. Check it out. Try it for 7 days. If you don't like it, cancel, okay? And as we talk about the 49ers and the Rams a little bit more deeper, we went over that total without Puka Nacua, without Cooper Kupp, and now 90% of the handle is on the under. So a little sharp action in terms of Outlier and their betting splits. I checked a couple other platforms, and it's showing the opposite. It's showing the money and the bets are on the over. I do think that the over will be a very public play as well, just because of all the star power. One thing worth noting is it is a primetime Thursday night football game. Thursday nights, in my opinion, have always been more so unders. I do think the Rams are going to try to run the shit out of the football. The 49ers like to do that. I just don't know who they're going to have in that stable, okay? So let's talk about that narrative a little bit more so. First being the likes of what we hit last 49ers game, okay? One of my best bets I gave out was taking the Deebo Samuel rushing yards over 12.5 was what I took, was the number. You could have got 11.5, 12.5, even up to 24.5, depending on what site you use. That's why you got to use Outlier, find the best number available. I was able to get 9.5 on BetMGM as my best bet, and then I doubled down and took it 12.5, gave that out on Discord. And luckily, in the fourth quarter, he had 2 8-yard rushes late in the game, sealing that deal. He was actually in negative yardage until he finished the game, was 13 yards. So that was a sweat, but it ended up cashing. Okay. But in this, if Garendo's not able to go, they're going to be relying on a player that, quite frankly, I have no history about. He had 7 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown against Chicago, 1 target in a passing game. And that's something where the Rams, having a very, 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 very horrible EPA per play on defense against the rush, it's something where you're going to be looking at Patrick Taylor, and that's something where you can find some extreme odds. If you don't think Garendo's going to be full go, maybe Patrick Taylor, maybe they give it to the fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. Maybe take that short yardage situations. Maybe take a McCaffrey sneak. But I do see an angle where Juszczyk, Juszczyk, Purdy, and or Deebo Samuel get a rushing touchdown inside the 5-yard line. That's an angle worth exploring, okay? Just due to the injuries in their running back backfield, all right? So I talked a little bit about that. If you want to dabble into some Patrick Taylor props, if you're going to play that narrative, be careful because Garendo could be full go, and he may not even see any touches. But if you do want to shoot some plus money value, Patrick Taylor's out there. Big odds for anytime touchdown. Also, if you want to take his rushing yards over, take Deebo rushing yards over. And when Deebo was like basically the sole running back, when we had Mason hurt, we had McCaffrey. When McCaffrey first went down, I think Deebo had like 11 or 12 carries in that game. And they're trying to get him more involved. So that's why I bet that last Sunday. That's an angle for today as well. I think that applies. All right. So anytime Deebo's taking the ball out of the backfield, he's going off tackle, he's going up the middle. They're not just end arounds, they're not just reverses, passes behind the line of scrimmage that counts as rushes. Deebo's going to be in a position where he gets a lot of rushing yards and carries. Okay, so that's an angle. But let's get into the numbers here because that's kind of what we came here to talk about. I'm staying away from the spread, full disclosure. Okay, it's a field goal. I can make the argument for both sides. The money is more so on the Rams. Sean McVay owns this kind of on Thursday nights. But on a short week, all bets are off. I don't like the status of the 49ers from a health perspective. But let's talk about some of the props that are going to guide us through this a little bit deeper. Okay. First being, I do like the over, and I do like points. So you can dabble into a couple different markets. First being San Francisco points. You can lay some juice, minus 155, that the Rams team total goes over 23.5. So 3 touchdowns and a field goal. So if you want to take 49ers over 2.5 touchdowns, that's a good angle as well. Or if you just want to play it, a bunch of field goals and 2 touchdowns and take the team total over, that's an angle. I do think this one's going to cash. Also, the Rams over 2.5 touchdowns is very profitable in my opinion as well. That's why I don't like the game, because I see both of these teams scoring at least 3 touchdowns. Okay, so Rams over 2.5 touchdowns, minus 125. That's kind of where I see this game script headed. Also, let's hit the Puka Nacua numbers, right? Saw him last game. He had 12 catches against Buffalo. They ran 42% pass plays. He had 72 yards. I'm sorry, he had 72 plays. 42% of those were passing plays. So in his last 10 and 11 games on the road, Nacua's averaged over 7.5 receptions, 4.5. I'm sorry. He has failed to exceed 7.5 receptions in 10 of his last 11 on the road, 4.5 receptions per game average. But what I want to kind of get back to is the game against San Francisco he had back in January. I think this is when he got hurt. I'm not 100% sure, but The 49ers come in ranked 7th against receptions. And against the tight end position, they're 5th. So not giving up a lot of receptions to the receiving position. Sorry, not tight end. I misspoke. But in this game, I think it's a defy the trend. I think that if you look at this bar chart from Outlier, his production has ramped up. In his last 5 games, he went from 9 grabs, 7, 9. Had a kind of bad game against New Orleans, where I think that one was. It was 21-14. That was kind of an outlier where I thought that he would have done a little better in that contest. But 12 grabs last game against Buffalo. They're ramping him up. I think the connection's there. And kind of where I'm at. So if we look at receptions and targets per game, he only had 6 targets, but you can see clearly how his targets have ramped up since becoming healthy. In his last 5 games, it's 14, 9, 13, 8, and 14. So kind of bucking the trend. I think that if you want to defy the past game against the 49ers, you could take the likes of Puka Nacua over 6.5 receptions. It's a lot of money, but it is a good parlay builder. Minus 158, kind of where I'm at. I don't love it, but that's how I would attack the Puka market. I would stay away from the yardages. Okay. Next, I did say that I am going to take in the over. You can find that right now. 48 if you want to find it on the odds board. You'd have to pay a little bit, but minus 124 if you want to buy that hook. Stick on that key number. So over 48 is an official play. Juwan Jennings is another stat that I want to talk about. Okay, against the Rams, he had 175 receiving yards. Okay, now this game was back in September. Okay, in 2020, September 22nd, and that's relevant, for my opinion, due to the fact that he had a bulk of their passing plays, a bulk of their targets, and he has exceeded 59.5 receiving yards in 4 of the last 5 games at home, averaging about 70. So you could take Juwan Jennings over his receptions at plus money. Over 5.5 receptions, plus 115 will be my best play on DK. Also, I do like his yardage and anytime touchdown. I know he had 2 touchdowns last game. Little half-unit sprinkle, anytime touchdown for Juwan Jennings. Clearly that rapport is there within Purdy. And then the Rams right now, receiving yards allowed, 25th in the NFL. A little bit worse than middle of the pack, 150 per game to wide receivers. So like me some Juwan Jennings here on Thursday Night Football. Brock Purdy also kind of want to get into the rushing script here. Against the Rams back in September, he had 28 rushing yards. They give up a lot of rushing yards to the quarterback position, 23rd in the NFL, giving up 23.4 per game. Purdy likes to scramble a little bit more, okay, than most. And right now you can find that number. If you shop around, you can get an over 19.5, taking Brock Purdy over his rushing yards at 20.5. That is my best bet that you can find. You want to look at the alt lines, you can see it right here. 20.5 is minus 119. That is a bet that I'm going to be making. All we need is 2 scrambles, and we get home with this. He did it, 41 yards against the Rams in September. Still same kind of narrative here. I think he's not down running backs. They're going to be passing. Kittle's been doing extremely well. I do like the Kittle plays in this game. I like everything offensive. I think this is going to be a very good game for fantasy parlay builders. Anything along those lines, props. I think we're going to get a lot of offensive output, and that's kind of where I stand within Brock Purdy, going over his rushing yards as one of my best bets, okay? Also, Kittle anytime touchdown, Juwan Jennings anytime touchdown, Garendo or Patrick Taylor anytime touchdown, a little bit of a sprinkle on that running back situation. But be careful because you don't know exactly the health status. I don't want to see you guys bet Patrick Taylor and then Garendo gets a full workload, okay? Also, Kyren Williams, that number is fairly out of perspective. I'll show you guys exactly why I'm saying that. Okay, so Kyren Williams here, if we want to look at this, he hasn't really been getting a lot of carries. Last game against Buffalo, he had 29 rushing attempts, but before that, 15 or 16 in his last 5, okay? And that is kind of where those last 4 games have been an outlier as they passed the ball a lot more. But the 5 games before that, he went over 20 pretty much on average. So I'm going to stay away from the rushing attempts for Kyren Williams. But if we look at touchdowns, Right now, you can see that number, minus 137. I believe that will be on Prize Picks, but right now on FanDuel, minus 145. Kyren Williams, anytime touchdown. Love that bet. Love it, love it, love it. So Kyren Williams, anytime touchdown at minus 145. That is a bet. I don't care about the juice. I'm going to be laying that. It's too cheap, okay? Some of the matchups that he does have, he's well over minus $2. And touchdowns against for running backs, San Francisco's defense comes in at 26th in the NFL. So I'm not quite sure why this ranking is so low. But in a game where I do see, if we look back at that game against their first matchup, and I know things were a little bit different, okay, but I do think this is an avenue where I actually don't even think he played in that game because he's not showing up here. Actually, it is. Okay, so yeah, September 22nd, he had 3 touchdowns against San Francisco. So riddle me that. He had every touchdown against the 49ers back in September. So I don't understand why the number's minus 145. That's one of my favorite bets. FanDuel's offering it right now, minus 145. So I would jump on that before the public moves it. So minus 145, Kyren Williams, anytime touchdown. Too good a value to pass up, okay? And that's kind of where I stand. Those are my best bets. Here are my final plays, a little bit of a breakdown. A lot of these are plays that kind of counteract each other, right? I have a lot of anytime touchdowns. I'm not saying I'm going to bet all of those. I'm just offering them as bets that I like. But the touchdown markets that I do like is Juwan Jennings. I do like the running back situation for the Rams too. If you got to get some clarity on who's going to be in that backfield. But Kyren Williams is my favorite play, minus 145. And I do like points, so both teams, pick your poison. If you want to go Rams over their touchdowns, San Francisco team total over, or just bet the full game over 48. I'm kind of leaving that up to you. You guys make the best bet for yourself. Never tell you guys to bet anything. I'm just telling you guys what plays I like and what I'll be kind of dabbling into. But those are the betting markets that I do like and the propositions along the way. Appreciate you guys watching. Good luck with your picks tonight. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. If you haven't done so, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, guys, over 50% of the people that watch this video are not subscribed to TBM Sports. This is one where you don't want to do that, okay? These are free picks. I don't charge. If you want to become a channel member, you can do that below. Give back to the platform, $9.99 a month. Just basically keeps us going here. But all I ask from you guys is smash that like button and subscribe down below, okay? I'll leave with that. Good luck with your picks. Enjoy Thursday Night Football, and we'll see you all in the next video. Good luck, everyone.